Alrighty guys, so today what we're going to be going over is to show you how to figure out what your home is worth yourself without having access to a real estate agent or anything that you may not have access to. So what we're going to do is we're going to look through Zillow and show you exactly how to figure out how much your home is worth without relying specifically on the Z estimate. So you can see I've got the Zillow website pulled up over here. So what you're first going to want to do is by starting off and going to, let's say, the area you live in. So if you're going to be living in this area here, and you're going to want to find out which other houses have actually sold in that area. So let's draw a circle roughly around your neighborhood, which we're assuming is in here. And then we click apply. Now from here, and this is where most people go wrong, is what you're actually looking at here are the homes that are for sale right now. And a lot of people call me up all the time and they say, hey, you know, XYZ home was listed for this price, therefore my home should sell for the same price. By definition, what you're looking at here is the homes that haven't sold. So that doesn't always mean the actual prices that these homes sell at. It's important not to discount these altogether, but what we want to actually look at, we go to this one, and then you check this little button that says sold. So now this is going to tell us the prices that these homes actually sold for, which is far more important than the list price when they actually were listed. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more, but it's more important to look at the actual numbers that they closed at more than it is the prices that they were listed at when they sold. So now we've got too many. So what we're going to want to do is go and narrow this down. I don't like to use bedrooms and bathrooms as much as I like to use the square footage. So you can go here into this more section and go to square feet. And then we're going to say, like, let's say we want to look only at homes between 1,500 and 2,000 square feet. And we're going to want a similar lot size. So let's say we want to be between 5,000 and 7,500. And that's probably going to give us a decent-ish number of homes. You really want to narrow it down to about 10 to 15 homes at the most. And then you're going to go back and find the ones that look most similar to yours. So then you kind of have to go through one by one, and you find a few that are better than yours, a few that are worse than yours. And then we're going to go back and start making individual adjustments, which I'm probably not going to cover in this video, but what we're going to do is we're going to look at something like this. And I'm just going to show you one home as an example, but you can start making adjustments for 3 or 4 homes, and then you can go through and find a good value for your home. So the first thing that I like to look at is we know that this is the price that it actually sold at. So I'm always curious, and if you scroll down, you can see what price was it listed at when it sold. So we can see that it was listed at $499 and sold for $499. So in this case, those two numbers are the same. I would say that that's relatively rare in today's market. And we can also see when it was listed. It was listed on September 10th, and it sold on November 4th. So now we're going to go back and start looking at photos of the home. And we see that this house has, for instance, probably been flipped, I guess, especially with how recently it sold after it was listed. But let's say that your home, for instance, has a carport instead of a garage. So we know that a garage is going to be worth more than a carport. So we might say, all other things being equal, we're going to take off $10,000 for this having a 2-car garage instead of just a carport. And then we're looking inside and we start to see, wow, this one's got updated kitchen. Maybe mine doesn't have an updated kitchen. So we might subtract another $15,000 to $20,000 for an updated kitchen. And then you go along, and again, you're just trying to find things that are different between the two houses. So if this one has something that's better than yours, then you would subtract from its list price because we know that yours is going to sell for less than this one. Or in the opposite case, and maybe it would be ideal to go back and find one that's not fully flipped. So let's say we find this one, which only sold for $380. Again, it's got no photos. We don't want that one. Let's go find... Oh, let's go find one that's not forfeit. Let's try this one here. Okay, so this one sold for quite a bit less. So then we might want to look at this one and say, why did this one sell for less? And it's not obvious, immediately apparent. It is a little bit smaller. It's only 1,633 square feet, but it sold for $444 as opposed to the other one which sold for $490. So that's basically the crux of what you're going to want to do here. Is just you're going to go through, look at the comps, find out why they're better or worse than yours, and then this is more of an art form than a science, but you learn over time that this one has this kind of kitchen as compared to yours, which maybe doesn't have as nice of a kitchen, and then you make adjustments. So if it would cost you, let's say, $10,000 to do that kitchen, or to add granite countertops, or to update a bathroom, or if one has a two-car garage and one doesn't, then you would just make those addition and subtraction to the home, and you would arrive at the price at which we're likely to sell your house for. Hope that helps.